Yvonne stared out the rain-streaked window. Her heart ached, jobless, alone, facing eviction. The world outside seemed as bleak as her future. Each raindrop felt like a tear from the heavens, mirroring her own sorrow. Where was God in all of this? She'd always believed, always trusted. But now, in her darkest hour, she felt abandoned. The faith that once gave her strength now seemed like a distant memory. Now, doubt gnawed at her. It was a relentless, consuming force, eating away at the remnants of her hope. She questioned everything she once held dear. Tears welled in her eyes. They were hot, bitter, and unstoppable. Each tear was a testament to her pain, a silent cry for help. She clutched her worn Bible. The words blurred. Once a source of comfort, now they seemed like hollow promises. She longed for the solace they once brought. Emptiness echoed in her small apartment. The silence was deafening, a constant reminder of her isolation. Every corner of the room seemed to mock her despair. "Why?" she whispered, her voice choked with despair. The question hung in the air, unanswered, a plea to the universe.
Her phone buzzed, a harsh sound in the silence. Another dead end, another rejection. Each notification was a dagger to her already wounded spirit. Hope, once a flickering candle, sputtered and died. The darkness seemed to close in, suffocating her last vestiges of optimism. Yvonne sank to her knees, the weight of her burdens crushing her. She felt the cold, hard floor beneath her, a stark contrast to the warmth she desperately sought.
"Please," she sobbed, "I need you now more than ever." Her voice was a broken whisper, a final plea for salvation in her darkest moment.
A knock at the door startled Yvonne. She wasn't expecting anyone. The sound echoed through her small, quiet apartment, breaking the silence that had settled like a heavy blanket. Her heart raced as she wondered who it could be at this hour. Wiping her tears, she opened the door cautiously. Her mind raced with thoughts of who might be on the other side. She took a deep breath, trying to steady herself. An elderly woman stood smiling warmly. Her presence was unexpected, but somehow comforting. Her eyes sparkled with kindness, a gentle reassurance that everything would be all right.
"Hello, dear," she said, her voice like a gentle melody. It was soothing, like a lullaby that calmed Yvonne's anxious heart. "I'm Miss Johnson, your new neighbour. I just moved in next door." "I baked too many cookies," she continued, holding out a plate of freshly baked treats. The aroma wafted through the air, inviting and warm.
Yvonne hesitated, then invited her in. She wasn't used to such kindness from strangers, but something about Miss Johnson felt genuine. Miss Johnson's presence filled the room with warmth. They talked for hours, sharing stories and laughter. It was a connection Yvonne hadn't felt in a long time. Yvonne shared her struggles, her voice thick with unshed tears. Miss Johnson listened patiently, her eyes never leaving Yvonne's face.
"Dear Yvonne, faith isn't about the absence of storms," she said softly, her words carrying a weight of wisdom. "It's about finding God in the midst of them." Her words lingered in the air, offering a beacon of hope in Yvonne's darkest hour.
Miss Johnson's words struck a chord within Yvonne. They resonated deeply, echoing in the chambers of her heart and mind. She'd been so focused on the storm, she'd forgotten the anchor that had always been there, steadfast and unwavering.
"But it's so hard," Yvonne whispered, her voice trembling. The weight of her struggles felt insurmountable, like a mountain she couldn't climb.
"It is, child," Miss Johnson agreed, her eyes filled with understanding and compassion. "But even the strongest trees bend in the wind. They don't break. They sway and dance with the storm, trusting in their resilience. They trust their roots to hold them firm, roots that run deep, anchoring them to the earth."
Yvonne looked at her worn Bible, a new understanding dawning. The pages, filled with promises and hope, seemed to glow with newfound light. Faith wasn't about easy answers. It was about the journey, the struggles and the growth that came from them. It was about trusting God's plan, even when she couldn't see it, trusting that there was a purpose behind every challenge.
"Sometimes," Miss Johnson continued, "the greatest growth happens in the darkest of times. Hold on, Yvonne. Hold on to your faith and your hope. Your storm won't last forever. The dawn will break and the sun will shine again, bringing with it a new day and new possibilities."
Weeks later, Yvonne stood before her church congregation. Her voice, once filled with despair, now resonated with quiet strength.
Miss Johnson reminded me that even in the darkest night, the sun still rises. We just have to hold on to hope.
She shared her story, her struggles, and her journey back to faith. Her testimony resonated with the congregation. Heads nodded in understanding. Tears flowed freely. Yvonne's story, a testament to the power of faith, touched their hearts. Everyone faces storms, moments of doubt, fear, and despair. But like Yvonne, we can choose to hold on to faith, to trust in God's timing, to find strength in the midst of our struggles.
Do you have a story of faith and perseverance? Share it. Your story might be the beacon of hope someone else needs to weather their own storm. Let your light shine. Share your story. You never know who might be listening, who might find solace and strength in your words.